Breakdancing is making its debut as an Olympic sport at the 2024 Games in Paris. Skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing are already part of the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. Those three were also confirmed for the 2024 Olympic Games. Organizers for the Paris Games say they want to deliver programming that's current and will attract new and younger audiences.
That's exactly something that I've been wondering about. I know that we were both definitely wondering about it. I'm glad that you asked that, because
I think it'll be both. I think it will be, because we've already seen like kind of I think it was out of Texas. I think Omar began forming something that is in direct association with the Olympics to choose a squad for USA Breaking, but they're doing it off of the grounds of like battles.
Yeah. So like you said, we're already seeing it happen, right? And I think that's human nature, that's business, that's networking, so, and I think there's a legitimacy to that.
As far as I understand the Olympic system, they typically take from, professional events that are going on now. Like, for instance, if they're going to make a dream team for basketball or something like that, they have NBA records to go off of. I really don't know how or who, that's connected with the Olympics is giving them numbers as far as, which B-boys have won which competitions to, solidify, the proper amount of points or anything like that to prove that they should be the ones representing the Olympics. And to be honest, so
it's literally keeping it to where it's like you win, you get a slot, or you get basically put into what could be a draft for said battle. So I think it's a combination of both, because even who gets picked for these battles is more or less off of who remembers who, or, oh, yo, my homie's dope. Like, this person's really nasty. I think they'd be crazy dope on this level. It's like they only needed this one little push, and here's this push. I'm putting them in this position to like help them out.
Again, as an event organizer, or as even whatever it is, if I'm going to do it, people be like, how to use the same people all the time, the same DJ. Yeah, because I can rely on them, because I know them, because I have that relationship with them. That's why, because I know they're going to do the job good, which is one thing. But when it's like, my boy's whack, he's crap, but I'm still gonna give him the top-notch DJ spot, no, that's not okay.
For all I know, they could be fraudulently just saying that these jams happened that didn't, and telling the Olympics to put these guys in their own dudes, and that I would be more worried. If I was a B-boy, I'd be more questioning that than whether or not B-boy should be in the Olympics. That should really be the topic. It should be.
But if that homie that gets put on that level ain't on that level, they gonna get torched.
At least right now you could, and we're losing a lot of this already, but at least the call out holds people accountable to some kind of sense, right? If you're a judge and you obviously were biased because you don't like me, I can step to you. We can handle this. We can have this conversation, and that'll create more conversation, whatever the case might be. But we're not going to have even that control or that opportunity. You're not going to be able to call out one of these Olympic judges. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to call out the people recruiting the teams. People are talking about like, well, the judges shouldn't even be B-boys or B-girls. They should just be trained judges. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
how did people get chosen for the Olympics? By these people that are representing us? How did they choose people for the Olympics? That's the real issue right there.
There's little things that you can hide behind in specific like sporting events, and like little things here and there. Like if you're in a starting five in a basketball team, you can just kind of slouch around and play like half-ass defense and like kind of just move around, play like passing lanes, and just make sure you don't get burned like on a cut. And you're good, but you're actually just a very mediocre player. In breaking, you do a trash round, everyone's going to know that was a trash round.
It might not even be the media or the Olympics doing something negative to B-boy and that causes, something bad. It could be those representatives that are bringing in like those that crab in the bucket type.
So there's no like, oh, well, but like he knows this person. It's like, yeah, he knows that person, and that person knows he got smoked. Like,
Give me a biased B-boy or B-girl over an unbiased random person that got trained on a book on how to judge me. Like, you're crazy. So we're already seeing it, yeah, and it's just gonna get worse because we're gonna have no way to hold anybody accountable. You're just gonna be the bitter dude complaining because you lost or because you didn't get on the team. When it's, you know, so I think it's just gonna become worse. You know, we see it over. I think there's some cats that are gonna have undeniable skills where you're not, like, you can't deny. But even then, we still see that we're like, what? This cat didn't get out, or this cat didn't make it to, you know, it happens now where you're just, some people that are like super obvious to. I think about this 48 and over battle that happened in a freestyle session. There was cats that didn't make it to the prelims, and I'm like, yo, that cat was super fresh. Like, everybody knows he's way fresher than this person that made it or whatever.
That's been really underlooked, and I think somebody needs to really demand an answer for that.
So it happens already, but we're gonna have no way to hold anybody accountable, because it's gonna be like, nope, that's the way it is. That person's in charge. You know, even who gets those positions, ask the people recruiting the people. Those positions are going to, again, they could take everybody out and cool, we're going to get this coach, and he was Russia's wrestling coach for 5 years. So he's a really good coach. So we're going to put him on now, which might be a great thing, but it's still like.
We've seen it in IBE teams. We've seen it in some of the older BC ones. We've seen it like on every big stage. We've seen there's at least that one person where you sit there and you like, that's a hookup. Like, he homies with the right person. Good for you, dog. Get your money. Go ahead. It's like, I hope you don't get roasted. I hope you don't get roasted. Because if you do, oh man.
No, man, it has to be. Anytime we get into the industry, anytime that there's money involved, anytime, because people are going to scratch each other's backs, that's just the way it's going to happen. Especially when there's no transparency, especially when there's no way to see what's really going on, and nobody can speak up on it. We're headed in that direction, and again, we can't expect that's not going to happen. It's hard to say, because I kind of feel like we've already started that process. We've already started that exploitation process.
I think I don't see how.
Oh well, no. I think the Olympics is it's gonna be another layer in general. It's gonna be a good section, a good chapter to the book of b-boying. You know what I'm saying? As far as the history of b-boying is concerned.
With DJing, we're playing music, so you can control or commodify that by controlling what music's played. So if it's a specific sound or a specific thing, that's how you control that. If it's rap, you change the words to be a code or uplift of your people to just like selling crack and like sipping lean and popping pills and like just like just being useless and gibberish. That's how you subvert that. With graph, you take it and put it in the H&M. Like you take an artist working in H&M and then not pay him. Like, all those can be bastardized like that because of that. With breaking, because it's like, what? We don't have a shoe. We don't have a specific shoe. We don't have clothes. We ain't breaking on cardboard no more. Like, we don't have a specific item that can be taken from that and then exploited beyond ourselves. The individuals that could be exploited from that, that's a plausibility, but that's all dependent on who, like, somebody gets to angle in front of them and how hungry they are to want to eat for very poor. Like, that level can be exploited. But I think as far as like the Olympics exploiting breaking,
whether you want to say it started with the You Got Served, with the Hollywood industry, we've already, and the Hollywood industry is another industry that we can see as an example. What happens to our culture? What happens?
And here we go. The battle of the year is on. Hidden rebel, they know how to bring the pain.
You know what I mean? And there's gonna be some sacrifices that, you know, and some exploits that are gonna happen, and there's gonna be some positive terms too. You know what I mean?
Unless they sit there and then like put some Steve Aoki song over it and like are sitting there and it's like all the.
That's why, because people would be like, go to LA House, you get mad work. And I'm like, yo, every time I go there, everybody's dying for work and everybody's dying for the same one job.
Wow. I just realized that's exactly what that's going to be. It's going to be some wild dubstep techno song that's going to be a bunch of clips of somebody doing air flares. And then it's going to be like the Olympics 2020, we're hip now.
At the end of the day, though, as long as people just keep dancing and doing it the best they can, and you know what I mean, and have a passion for it and an actual love for it, you know what I mean. If people can just continue to love it, it's gonna go in the right direction. You know what I mean. And nothing's gonna stop that.
And I would go to these auditions. Okay, this goes with the last question and this question. So this is just proof in the pudding. When there was specifically, I'm not even gonna name them. There was a video for, there was an audition for a movie, very dance-oriented movie. The audition was huge. I saw more people there, more big hitters there than I've seen at any jam in my life, all in one room. Where I was just like, yo, this could be the greatest jam ever because there's so many fresh people here. But then what I also saw was people like, oh, well, there goes my crewmate, and and then they're like, yo, why didn't you tell me about this audition? Oh man, because you know, I got in with the squad with this choreographer, and the choreographer they already really know who they're gonna pick. This audition is just for hype to get the buzz going, and and so you would see people selling each other out within crews, and this was solid crews, and you know, this was in a time back where there was still more loyalty to stuff. And when I saw that kind of stuff, I was like, I can't be in this LA thing. People are shitting on each other like this. I was like, I can't do that. I'm good with this. You know what I mean?
That's kind of like the most bare like level of it. Like in the 80s and shit, like we were more or less like, they were making bad films and like just like they were putting it in McDonald's commercials.
With so many ways to win playing Monopoly at McDonald's, free fries. Me and my crew had to get pretty creative with our celebration moves.
Oh, $1,000 Foot Locker shopping spree.
Can't win if you don't play, but you can't lose if you do.
I got an instant $100,000, baby.
Get the chance to win $100,000 daily. Plus, every game piece could get you free food or up to 25% off your Foot Locker purchase with guaranteed bonus game pieces.
She knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. How you celebrate?
And then, like you said, they were selling pieces of cardboard with how to learn how to break dance, which like that era is just so cringy. But it's like where we are now, as far as the subculture, as well as like, you know, just the grand like culture of the world, that you can't really do that, at least with this now. Like, ain't nobody gonna buy a cardboard box for this.
So no, I don't think that the Olympics has the power to stop breaking, just like the media didn't have the power to stop breaking back in the 80s. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I guess anybody will buy anything if you sell it to them.
You know, and for some people it works, but that's the proof. And when you're like, oh, they already know exactly who they're going to pick, and that same squad gets picked at every time this choreographer is in charge of recruiting the moves. It doesn't matter who shows up. They already got their squad. This is just all for hype. And so you know, it's there. It's gonna happen. It's still gonna happen again.
I think the one commodification that will pop up from it is that individuals with money, depending on how successful, at least from a like attendance as far as like viewership and engagement, you'll have people trying to pop up with and it's funny because I had this conversation with Gravity and a couple people, but we're going to see like an influx of people with money trying to create then schools or trying to create other studios and then just trying to suck up or like pick up the like what they think or who sold themselves as the best dancer to then try and commodify and then like, oh, well, we're teaching breaking over here, we're teaching break dancing, we're gonna get your kids to the Olympics. Ain't none of them kids going to the Olympics. Ain't none of them kids probably gonna go to a jam.
Again, I don't know what people are expecting that because Olympics still isn't banging like that. It's still not. It's a huge platform because everybody around the world knows the word Olympics, but who still watches the Olympics? And so I think we're giving the Olympics way too much credit for what's possible with them, or that they're going to. I don't think the Olympics has the momentum or the power to alone create a whole new exploitation era. I think we're already in it. I think it's going to add to it. And it's dividing. It's dividing a lot of the community. So, which makes it, again, crabs in a barrel, makes it easier to exploit us because when we're all divided and fighting.
But like that level of commodification is going to exist because it already does. We already see those terrible breaking classes that are being taught in like bad studios where all of them do a freeze and they like this, and then they smiling in the camera with like not even Chuck Taylors. They like they're weird like Converse, but the C weird, and they got like sparkles everywhere, and it's just like
when you have that proper motivation with the proper mix, you know what I mean? The only thing that obstacles do, when something's on its proper war path, and it just give it something to jump off of to go faster. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's mad wristbands, mad bandanas, like all of it. So it's like that already occurs, but that's the level of commodification that I feel will occur from this, because all the other that's not going to repeat itself, at least not in that way.
You win freestyle session, you're gonna get more gigs. You're gonna get flown out to places. You're gonna do work. So, So they're not. That's not offering us anything that we're not already doing for ourselves.
And now we look back on it and it's shameful for them. So I would hope that the Olympics wouldn't try to do that, or else all they're gonna do is have a whole bunch of angry customers.
The special performance of Morgan Hom.
Well, this is great. I mean, honestly, it's very exciting. Boys throughout the country have watched him learning this move on their website, and they're so enamored, so fascinated with it. But on top of that, he's tremendous in every way on floor exercise. The last 2 Olympic Games, he has made the finals on this event. And here we go. This is that air flare. It'll happen right after the first one.
So cool.
Right there and there. It's
effortless, isn't it? It looks so easy.
And it is not. It is not easy at all.
Morgan said he became totally obsessed with that move. In fact, practiced it all the time in his living room, even missed some practice because of, just trying to perfect that skill.
Well, you can hear it in the crowd. They know they just saw something very special.
Yeah, his brother, Paul, best gymnast in the world, he tried to learn it and couldn't figure it out and gave up on it, but Morgan, he stuck with it.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section, and to make sure that you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace until the next episode.